The season is only going to go as far as Brock Purdy takes them, is all I'm saying.
You think so?
Absolutely. That's not even a hot take.
You think he has to carry this team?
I think at times he will. Number one right now is Ricky Pearsall, who has a cup of coffee in the league, and Juwan Jennings, who, God bless the guy, let's see him do it again. Wow. He's got a calf injury already.
McCaffrey, I think, was a big takeaway. McCaffrey looks like McCaffrey. Now, there wasn't much room to operate in the run game, but coming out of the backfield, the hands are still there. He's still running good routes, as we all know that. Tackles for losses, they're all over him. And you know what's ironic? You know what's funny to me? Is last summer, we argued, and I was on Team BA, Brendan Aiyuk, get your money, player, that they needed a wide receiver. And, there's a lot of talk from fans, from a lot of people. Yeah, you can put your hand down, Shasky. We know you. We know. But you got the flip-flops. So, you pivot, don't panic, and you change with the way to win. You can change an opinion in an hour. We all know that. But now it's just ironic that everybody is talking about wide receiver. Oh, my God, we don't have a top-flight wide receiver. When all last summer you told me on these airways that they didn't need a top-flight. They didn't need a top-flight wide receiver. So
they also had Debo at that time. I do think they're going to miss Debo. Look, for all the things Debo isn't, he does make a lot. If you go back and watch over the last 2 years, he makes a lot of big contested catches in the intermediate part of the field. He plays tougher and bigger than his stature. And I know he would drive people crazy with the drops stuff. He made a lot of big up in the air catches for his height and size.
High pointing the ball and everything like that. So, the offensive line got worked without Trent Williams early in that period. Now, they did some things better later on in the practice. They moved the ball a little bit. Kittle looked good. McCaffrey, I think, was a big takeaway. McCaffrey looks like McCaffrey. Now, there wasn't much room to operate in the run game, but coming out of the backfield, the hands are still there. He's still running good routes. So, look, Denver, let's be real. My big takeaway was Denver's going to be a problem in the AFC this season. Sean Payton and Vance Joseph got the boys ready to roll. And the intensity level that they came out of Levi Stadium with. I mean, DJ Jones, Hufanga. I mean, who was it number?
Zach Allen, 99.
Zach Allen was unbelievable. No, this number 15, Nick Benito. The outside linebacker. Yes. He made a play on the first play. He smacked somebody and started dancing. I was like, damn. And then you got Patrick Surtain, who's so smooth at the cornerback spot. That Denver defense has a Super Bowl caliber defense. Now, we got to see about the offense, but that defense is going to be a top 5 defense all season long. So that's good work for the 49ers to go against.
Well, and you look at it too, right? They didn't even have Drake Greenlaw out there. Like that guy that was the heart and soul, you could argue, for the Niners defense these last couple seasons. You saw Hufanga out there. That felt good for him. And you heard a lot of chirping from another former Niner, one DJ Jones, Bonta, who was talking that talk, talking that smack. And he was excited. It was fun. It felt like one team came away happy yesterday and the other team was not.
Well, the Niners were a little happy. I'm not going to lie, because they moved the ball a little bit better. And on the other side, hearing about the defense, where Nick Bosa dominated relentlessly. If Fred Warner and D. Winters looked like a good linebacker tandem. The Niners, look, even though if you say on the scoreboard the Broncos got the better hand, that's good work for the Niners to work off of. It's good film to say, okay, this is what we need to correct. For those rookies on the defensive line who are trying to, they're not there yet. Alfred Collins, CJ West,
was really
and Michael Williams
with Collins yesterday.
Collins, that was his best practice at training camp.
So because I've been hearing that he's really upright and he gets no push. I thought he looked great yesterday. I mean, again, we're talking about 4 or 5 drills, but I thought he looked really good.
No, he did. No, he's getting better and better by the day. He's using his leverage. He's not going to be a pass rusher. He's going to be a 2-down specialist, play against the run game, plug those gaps in the wide 9 scheme. So he looked better. But you know what? The defensive line is hurting right now. Their depth is being tested. Bryce Huff had to play a lot of snaps yesterday. So I think the takeaway is you don't hang your head over a joint practice on August 7th. But what you do, Spadoni and Shasky, is you take the film and say, okay, we got some things to clean up here at the wide receiver spot, on the offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, secondary. That is good work for the 49ers going against a team like that that's buttoned up with the championship head coach Sean Payton.
You don't lose in the practice. Like, there's no winners and losers. The only way you do lose, honestly, or hurt yourself before the season starts if you lose a player. Yeah. Like, that's it. And you saw that with the Chargers yesterday. Rashawn Slater out for the season, torn patellar tendon. That sucks for them. Like, that is how you could lose before the season starts, with devastating injuries, right? Thankfully, there wasn't a devastating injury yesterday with the first-round pick, Michael Williams, out of Georgia. But he did get hurt, and that sucks that he's going to miss the first preseason game tomorrow. But again, they're calling it a week. Hopefully he can come back next week, Bonta. Another joint practice with the Raiders out in Nevada, and he could play in that preseason game too, because that's what you don't want. That's what sucked about, and obviously Ricky Pearsall's one was so damn unique because he got shot. But the fact that he missed all that time and he had to play catch up when he did come back. Like, that's what I don't want with some of these rookies, right? Getting hurt. You saw Jordan James break his finger, right? And get surgery on. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. Like, that's what you don't want. It's the only thing you can't come away with these couple weeks. But they're injuries, right? Like, that happens.
It's football, right? But the Niners have been one of the most injured teams over the last 6 years. When you look at the stats here, they miss guys. Guys get hurt. I mean, I get it. It's a physical game, and they play a physical brand of football here. So Michael Williams, we all watch it. It looked like a non-contact injury. I grabbed the binoculars. I was like, yo, who's down over there? And it happened to be Michael Williams. Shanahan said after the practice, hyperextended knee. The exam looked good. He's going to miss a week, but he needs to work. Jordan James, to me, is the most disappointing rookie right now because everybody had high hopes for this guy out of Oregon. And you hear people tweeting left and right when there was no shoulder pads. Oh, Jordan James this and Jordan James that. Well, he comes up with a knee injury, and he misses about a week or two. And then he comes back. A few practices later, he breaks a finger. Now he has now he's going to be out another few weeks.
That's the Guerendo zone.
The Guerendo zone. So Guerendo's had a bunch of injuries. So the running back depth, to me, is a lot more concerning right now than the defensive line depth because I think the defensive line will come together. Sam Okuanu will be back in a couple weeks. I think Michael will be back in a week and a half. They'll play it slow. Again, it's August 8th right now. You don't need to rush them back. You want them to get the reps. You want them to go against some other teams like the Broncos, like the Raiders, like the Chargers a little bit later in the preseason. But it is alarming. These injuries are starting to mount up here. And at wide receiver, they're mounting up. At running back, they're mounting up and on the defensive line. So you need to clean that up here moving forward.
So we were doing like the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And just like layering some of this stuff. And I had way more good than I did bad or ugly, even though, Denver was suffocating yesterday. Yep. Jordan Watkins is an interesting player.
Oh, yeah.
He plays stronger than his body type. I like him. He's very shifty. Not as quick as Pearsall, but a little, I don't want to say tougher. He's just stronger over the middle on some of that stuff. Do you think he's a guy in this game on Saturday that's going to really impress fans?
I think so. I like this film coming out of Ole Miss. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
I think he hasn't been talked about enough, Jordan Watkins. And he's made plays, and he's gotten better as training camp has come along. And the thing about Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Shasky, is that he runs a pro-style system.
And he's a great scout, like a recruiter.
He's a great recruiter. He knows talent. It's why Lane Kiffin was sought after in the NFL for so many years and why he's bounced around in college. Jordan Watkins understands the pro game. He understands pro concepts. So it's an easy transition for him coming into Shanahan system. I'm not going to say easy because it's always challenging going from college to pro, but some of those pro principles he learned at Ole Miss. So you're starting to see it translate right now. He may be your punt returner, which if he has to play wide receiver a lot in the first 3 weeks due to DeMarcus Robinson being suspended, that kind of concerns me there. You got to find a punt returner.
I like Bergens.
Watkins is getting better. Bergen, he's had a tough camp.
Well, see, I just saw yesterday. He caught everything, and that's what I was looking for. Like, do you look decisive and do you catch everything? He's just so small.
Small. I mean, and he hadn't been catching everything in practice. He's dropping a lot.
I've only seen one guy.
Yeah, he was dropping a lot. I don't know about him, but you know what? Jordan Watkins going to play. And look, the key is at wide receiver, obviously, Juwan Jennings in a calf. When is he going to come back? But in the second half of the season, where are the 49ers going to be at? And where is Brandon Aiyuk going to?
So it's funny you bring him up.
We
were just talking about that.
I think people forgot how good Brandon Aiyuk was in 2023. I'll die on that hill.
There's an image that I can't get over in my head. It's Trent Williams yucking it up with the uniform on. And I get he's way older. Like, I understand all that. Him yucking it up with all the Bronco guys, like, it was weird. They were like clowning the Niners, and he was like kind of playing into it. And then Aiyuk off to the side, standing there, staring at the field, just dying to get out there. And I was like, damn, dude, like, I underrated the compete level on someone like Brandon Aiyuk. On the last few training camps before the holdout last year, he wasn't just good. He was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
He was the best player on the field. They miss him so much.
Which is why the rhetoric and the dialogue about Brandon Aiyuk last summer was just nasty. It was nasty work by a lot of people. He's about himself. He's this, he's that. This guy's been at every practice and every single drill where some people think like, it's borderline. What if the NFL came and said, hey, Brandon Aiyuk can't be out here because he's trying to coach these guys up. He's out there, John. He's desperate to get back out there. And then one thing about the compete level, you can always tell when a wide receiver competes at a high level. It's not when they're running their routes, knowing the ball is going to go to them in the pass game. It's in the run game.
Yeah.
And all those, look at a lot of those Christian McCaffrey runs in 2023. Who's downfield blocking like Jerry Rice, like John Taylor, like Terrell Owens? It was Brandon Aiyuk getting his nose dirty, pummeling DBs into the turf while McCaffrey goes 75 yards for a touchdown. So the competitor of Brandon Aiyuk, Where's he going to be at? Because you don't want to put a lot on his plate coming back from that devastating injury. Right. I heard a knee is nasty, the way he injured it. But if he could come back, and he could be 90% of the player he was in 2023. Think about the boost to get this offense in the second half of the season.
Yeah. Week 10, week 11?
I was hearing mid to late October.
Well, so week 4, they play, he would be activated off the PUP. If earliest. They play that Thursday. Yeah. That's their week 5 game. What do you think, 6, 7, 8?
I was told mid to late October.
Wow.
That's what I was told.
Falcons, Texans.
That would be that would change the season.
That would be unbelievable. And then think about
that would change the season.
Now all of a sudden Pearsall slots.
He's a 2. He's not a
receiver.
1.
Exactly, and that's fine.
No doubt.
Pearsall's going to make
plays. He
plays.
needs another year in the weight room for his upper body because when you get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage, he can kind of get slowed down.
No doubt. But he can slot into 2. You still got Jawan Jennings, who's going to be 3rd and Jawan, a big body target who Brock Purdy trusts. And then you see George Kittle yesterday. George Kittle looked ready to roll.
He looks unbelievable.
I don't need to see any more of George Kittle. Like, quite frankly, I think he's poised for a back-to-back All-Pro season.
George Kittle.
Right?
I'll see you in Seattle.
I don't need to see him. As that's Bonta Hill, who joins us every single Friday.
I'll see you in Seattle.
In studio, 9 o'clock, host of Warriors and Giants pre- and post-game live on NBC Sports Bay Area. And Bonta joins us in studio, of course, courtesy of River Islands. And all those passes being thrown and completed by the 2 quarterbacks yesterday. And obviously, you had Carter Bradley, the third guy. But Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. What did you see from the quarterbacks yesterday, Bonta?
Well, Brock struggled especially in that first team period against the Broncos. I mean,
O-line got collapsed.
He dropped back, and it was like, oh, there's DJ Jones. Oh, there's Zach Allen. There's Bodino. And they were chirping, and DJ Jones was yelling, that's a sack. That's a sack. That's a sack.
They were clowning the Niners.
Look, Brock Purdy, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine as long as the protection holds up. He's got the weapons. You know, what is fine? I know people want top 5 quarterback or whatnot. Just run the offense. Don't make mistakes. Now, Mac Jones, who's not really playing against the 1s. He's playing against the 2s and 3s. But Mac Jones is having a hell of a camp. He really is. I mean, he throws a tight spiral. He lets it fly. He's been decisive. His anticipation on routes, those intermediate routes, has been really good in his camp. Mac Jones is growing. So if Mac Jones has to play in case something happens to Brock Purdy, he could win you a game or 2. But Brock Purdy, I think, look, he threw some balls with some zip. He threw some balls that was getting his wide receivers killed. That Broncos defense made Brock Purdy look ordinary yesterday. But, again, as the day went along, and they ran 2 minutes, they move the ball drills, Brock Purdy turned into Brock Purdy.
The throw to Pearsall was an unbelievable throw. Not a good throw. It was an unbelievable throw.
He's fine. He's going to be the starting quarterback. So I don't know if has there been a controversy?
No.
You guys are looking at me like there's a Mac Jones.
Not at all.
It's
Brock
just
Purdy debate.
It's the conversation, and I do think if Brock, not that he's going to have an MVP caliber season, if he does, that's be insane, right? But more so of last year, how does he improve as a quarterback when the talent isn't really there around him right now? I don't know what to make of Jawan Jennings. And by the way, was Jawan Jennings kind of a winner yesterday if the wide receivers were struggling and he wasn't out there? When it comes to his negotiations, now there's all, is it the calf? Is it the hold-in? Is the holdout? No one really knows for sure. But I'll say this. When it comes to Brock Purdy, I think he could shut up a lot of people this year if he does go out there and ball out, because everyone wants to say, oh, he was a product of Christian McCaffrey. Oh, he's a product of, you had Debo, you had Aiyuk, you have Kyle Shanahan, all this. It's like, he's the highest paid player on the team right now. And I'm looking at Brock in an NFC that's really Matt Stafford's the best quarterback, maybe. Jaden Daniels. It's wide open for the quarterback play.
What about Jalen Hurts?
Baker.
Well, I go Jalen Hurts, and I agree with you there. Everyone wants to laugh at him and bring him down. It's Saquon. And say he won the Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
Really good in 2 Super Bowls.
I thought he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both those Super Bowls. I know Mahomes won the first one outside of that fumble that he dropped, and it was a big one in that first Super Bowl. He was dynamic and he was special. So I'm always in on Jalen Hurts. You know me, Bonta.
Right.
But outside of him, people usually go to Stafford, right? With the arm talent and everything. He's getting older though.
I don't know.
It's open though. The quarterback play in the NFC, I'm very curious to see how it's going to look. Within the division too. I do think Brock has a chance to come away from this season, as we look at him as the best quarterback in said division.
I mean,
you don't care about that. I know.
I don't care about that because where are the Niners at? The Niners are 12-5 and going to the NFC title game. I don't care if Brock throws for 2,000 or 4,000 yards. I really don't. I just think we jumped the shark on who's the best quarterback, who's the best team. You know, it's not, quarterbacks aren't playing against each other. They're not playing against air.
Usually
it's
the
teams.
best,
it's 11 on 11.
Usually the best teams are the best quarterbacks. That's why we talk about it.
Sometimes, but usually the best defense. Usually the best defensive line. Usually the best offensive line. Usually the best running game. All those components come into play when you got 53 men on a roster. Yes, you need very good quarterback play. There's no doubt you need quarterback play. And I think Brock Purdy, he's shown us. He's had some ups in the playoffs. He's had some downs in the playoffs. But he's gone to 2 NFC championship games. He played at a high level. Coming back from Detroit in that environment.
Detroit's a great example of a team that the offense was prolific and the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Couldn't stop a nosebleed.
And that's why they lost.
Exactly.
I mean, I also look at Jared Goff, and again, that's a conversation for another time.
They had nobody on defense last
Daniels
year.
dropped 45 on
I
them.
mean, they had nobody.
Okay, you guys are Jared Goff truthers. That's fine. That's great.
He was really good last year. He was good.
Jared Goff had a perfect game on Monday Night
We all
Football.
knew he wasn't. They weren't going to win at all those defensive guys going down.
I don't care if Brady in his prime was quarterbacking that Detroit team. You couldn't name a defensive lineman.
I'll say this in regards to, we're talking about Brock Purdy, we're talking about quarterback play, talking about all of it. Would your expectations feel different if you switched the quarterbacks yesterday? Let's say if you switched them on their teams.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Would my expectation? No. About the same.
Do you think Bo Nix and Brock Purdy are about the same?
You think Bo Nix is better?
No. I think Brock Purdy's better than Bo Nix.
Right now, Brock's got the better resume. Let's see how Bo Nix plays this year.
I think a lot of people came away and are coming away saying, like, I'd rather have Bo Nix than Brock Purdy.
Well, I thought,
people are really high on Bo Nix right now.
I like Bo Nix.
Well. He went to the playoffs last year,
but
and he has Sean Payton as his head coach, and he has Cortland Sutton. He has Troy Franklin. He has Mims. He has Evan Ingram at tight end. He has a stable of running backs in J.K. Dobbins and this guy Harvey that they're raving about in a Mile High City. Bo Nix is fine, but would the expectations change? No, because look at the pieces around him. You got to have pieces around. Tom Brady, I heard Shasky yesterday, and he's so right. This is why I didn't want Tom Brady, because I thought he was washed. But he was throwing to Kimbrell Tompkins for crying out loud.
And made the playoffs still. Well, got it.
And lost in the wild card.
It doesn't matter. They made the
playoffs because the AFC East sucked. It sucked. Buffalo sucked.
Is this division outside of the Rams? And if they have Jimmy Garoppolo head coach as the quarterback,
Seattle won 10 games last year. If Darnold doesn't throw a touchdown.
Let's see.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if Darnold he threw a game-winning touchdown as clock is expiring, they would have won 11 and won the division, and the Rams would have not made the playoffs with 10 wins.
I'm very curious to see how that.
I think we're sleep. I'm not here. I'm not a Darnold truther. Seattle was really good last year. They've got a different team. They traded DK away. Darnold threw like 36 touchdowns last year. Again, I'm not a Darnold truther. He had a great year.
He did. The season is only going to go as far as Brock Purdy takes them, is all I'm saying.
You think so?
Absolutely. That's not even a hot take.
You think he has to carry this team?
I think at times he will. Number one right now is Ricky Pearsall, who has a cup of coffee in the league, and Juwan Jennings, who, God bless the guy. Let's see him do it again. Wow. He's got a calf injury already.
I think they go as their defense goes this season. Okay. And the offense is
run
supposed
game
to.
Too.
The run game has to be solid. McCaffrey has to be McCaffrey. Run game has to be solid.
Red zone is so important.
The red zone. They went from first to middle of the pack, and really they climbed up to 14 because of the last 2 weeks. They have to score touchdowns in the red area. There's no doubt about it. That's the difference in championship teams and teams that are on the outside looking in. You got to convert in the red zone. But also this defensive line. Like, teams were gashing them in the run game last year.
Yeah, it was bad.
Gashing them. Setting up 2nd and 2. Setting up 3rd and 1. Setting up 2nd and 3. And so when you got the down the distance in your advantage as an opposing offense, and you get a guy like Sean Payton, for example, I'm getting 8 yards on first down in the run game. I could go play pass on 2nd and 2 and throw a bomb. Okay, if I don't convert it, I go back to the run game. I've got Bo Nix who could scramble. That gives teams. So that defensive line as well, which is why they went out and drafted 3 defensive linemen in Mikael Williams, Alfred Collins, and C.J. West, and signed traded for Bryce Huff because they need to stop the run.
Bryce Huff, I didn't see him yesterday. I was looking for him. He has a single-digit number on the line.
Number 47.
Oh, he was 47. I was looking for. Someone said he was number. I don't know, 6 or 9.
No, he's number 47.
Okay, so I didn't see him yesterday. Maybe I screwed up. How's he looked?
He's looked good in practice. I mean, he's going to be a wide 9 third down specialist. Okay. Coming off the edge with his spin. He's got a mean spin move. Obviously, Robert Saleh loves him. I thought Sam Okwuonu, who got hurt, was having a really good training camp as
91 from last year.
91 from last year. He makes
Okay.
some plays. So a third down specialist, can he come off that edge with speed and put pressure on the quarterback and compliment Nick Bosa? Bryce Hubb's had a decent camp.
Okay,
He's had a good camp.
I watched the Mikael Williams. Again, we're talking about like 5-6 reps total
Right.
for these guys. But I'm watching Mikael Williams on the inside line up over the guard in the center. He looked really good.
Yep.
Then he went to the outside. He got kind of stood up a couple times, and I'm like, all right, maybe that's not a strength right now. Watched Alfred Collins. Thought he looked really good going over guards and centers. And then CJ West is just a tank.
He's a tank. CJ West.
He's really good.
I mean, that's,
Big boy.
So I always think that I see CJ West, I think DJ Jones. And DJ Jones apparently told Matt Mayoko yesterday, they still try to replace me. They got that young buck over there. They're still trying to replace me.
He reminded me
And
of
the
Ian
Niners
Williams.
Ian Williams, I like that.
Because Ian Williams was strong and I felt like we never saw the best of him. He was really good. I know we forgot, like, he was so promising, Ian Williams. I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating
Yeah,
him.
no, CJ West is, right now he's on the third string, second string, third string, but he's going to play. He's going to get some snaps with these injuries that are happening now in camp. But Michael, you're right. On third down, if you go Huff, Bosa on the outside.
Yeah.
You slide Michael in on third down. And then that other defensive tackle spot is wide open on who could rush the passer on third
Givens?
down. Could be Givens. Who just
Jordan Elliott?
Who just somebody just went down with a torn pec.
Oh.
I think that was Givens who went down with a torn pec.
Did he go down with a
I forget. I got to double check.
I had a guy 93 that I had wrote down I thought looked okay in those drills, but I didn't have my roster in front of me. But 93 I thought was making some plays.
No, so the defensive line's got to be solid. But I think one thing that Niner fans could breathe easy about is D. Winters is having a fantastic camp.
So everyone
and D.
keeps
Winters
saying,
is going to start, but keep your eye on Nick Martin, the rookie out of Oklahoma State. He's fast, man. He gets sideline to sideline. Fab. Who's 45? One day I was looking, who the hell is that?
Not Demetrius Flanagan Fowles.
Or definitely not Oren Burks.
Oh, my God.
Watch back the first 5 games. DFF just falls in space. Just falls.
I never got the hype.
By the way, was it Demetrius or was it Dominic Flanagan?
Yeah, Givens with the pec injury.
So
Givens is going to be
Givens.
out for a while.
But you mentioned all that, and obviously the given is Nick Bosa, right? And the expectations for a guy like that and what he could be. If he's a DPOY kind of candidate again this year, Bonta, because that's the potential we're talking about. That's how we view guys like Nick Bosa, guys like TJ Watt, guys like Myles Garrett. DPOY or nothing every single season. That's the expectation for these guys. As you saw the DPOY yesterday, albeit in the secondary, Pat Surtain, who looked he the swag personified yesterday. He was feeling himself. He's very good. But what would it mean for this team if we have another all-pro type of a season for Nick Bosa? Are we talking playoffs? Because you're talking about defense, it comes down to the defensive line and setting the tone there.
Bosa has to set the tone. He's got to get after the quarterback. He's got to be in the top 5 conversation. And then what I want to see from Nick Bosa this year is not only get sacks, but force turnovers. Strip sack fumbles.
Yeah.
Go get that ball, Bosa. And he did that. He did that his rookie year. He did that really well. I thought 2021, he came back and was very, very solid in his DPOY year. So, yes, Nick Bosa, the Niners need Nick Bosa to be really, really good.
I forgot how good he looked before he hurt both obliques. He did look really good week 2 against the Vikings.
Yep.
Darnold made plays with his legs.
He did.
And Stafford as well made plays with their legs. And I had misremembered how good he actually was in those games. Though he didn't come through with big sacks, I thought he was relentless.
No, and every time I looked up at the defense yesterday with the binoculars, number 97, so I asked Jennifer Lee Chen, who was watching the defense from BBC Sports Bay Area, how's Bosa? She goes, he was in the backfield all day long. All day long. All day. Yeah, Mike McGlinchey was trying to block him. But all day long. YouTube chat also talk about Sebastian Valdez. Remember I was telling you about Sebastian
55.
Valdez? 55.
Montana
I'm eager to see
State.
him on Saturday.
Montana State, right?
Yeah, I'm eager to see him on Saturday night.